5-1.
All right, Coach, whenever you're ready with an opening statement.
Well, what a great day for Clemson Athletics. Softball team playing, we're playing. Just kind of a unique thing here, something new for us all and something to be very excited about, and both of us won, so that's exciting. Really appreciate our fans for being here and supporting us today. Had a great crowd, great weather, had a tough week weather-wise, haven't been able to get on the field a lot, and it was great to have a wonderful day out there weather-wise. Great win. Thought our pitching staff did a great job. Too many free 90s. You certainly look at the box score, and you got to give Liberty a lot of credit. They were a very patient offense, and when they fell behind, they took pitches and tried to drive the pitch count up, which they certainly did. They put together some really tough at bats against Weatherly. Thought Jeffrey Gilbert pitched out of some tough spots in back-to-back innings. It means a lot to me to see a true freshman be able to come in a high leverage situation. That's how much we think of him, to bring him in that spot, and for him to be able to compete like that and pitch like that in a tough spot certainly means a lot to our team and our coaching staff. It was awesome to see him do that. And we had to go to Carson relatively early. Just felt like the save was right there. A couple guys got on base, and the top of the order was coming back up, and felt like we needed to make a move. Offensively today, I thought we did an outstanding job. We had 7 walks and only 5 strikeouts. Certainly a better job of competing with 2 strikes. Thought James Parker made a great play. I think it was in the 8th inning. We were up by 2. Could have been a leadoff double. Made a great defensive play. Sam Hall with a homer in the 4th. Hackenberg with a 2-out single RBI. He caught a heck of a game and had some good at bats with 2 outs, single RBI there in the 5th. Hall with a big home run again. Hall and T.O. Both with walks. Henderson with a 2-out, 2-strike single RBI. Another competitive quality at bat with 2 strikes in the 6th. Max Starbuck 0-2 count in the 8th single. Kier with a base hit bunt for a single, and then James Parker did a nice job on the hit and run, executing there with a single RBI. But overall, it's a great win. Thought we swung the bats pretty well. We got to pound the strike zone a little bit more. Probably too many free 90s for me, for my liking. I think we threw like 190 pitches total in game 1, so need to do a better job. We did a pretty good job of getting ahead of the hitters, got into some 1-2 counts, but they found a way to get it to 3-2. And I think that was the difference today in terms of the pitch count and the free 90s. We need to be a little cleaner on defense. The ball that we had an error on there at the end that was hit to Ferry, that ball smoked. But we need to be a little bit cleaner on defense. 4 errors, too many, a few too many free 90s, via the walk. But overall, a good win.
Would you say that Sam was effectively wild?
Yeah, and you're going to have to deal with that, with Sam a little bit. Sam's going to be a guy, he's not going to get hit a whole lot because his stuff is just so good. And his slider is pretty much unhittable. But he was effectively wild. I think Sam would tell you that probably a few too many walks, but I think he punched out 8, so did a good job. We would have liked to have gotten another inning out of him. To be honest with you, would have liked to have gotten him into the 5th, but I think he was at 84 pitches, and that was about as much as we could let him go there for his first start.
Coach, bringing Carson in there and decided to let him go the rest of the way.
Yeah.
I know you talked earlier about trying to kind of limit.
Yeah, well, and the game will dictate again kind of what you want to do there, and at that point I think it was a 4-2 game, and they had 2 guys on base, so at that point, when you got the winning run coming up to the plate, you better bring in the guy that you feel like that you can count on to get the job done there. Would have liked to have scored another run or 2 there in the 8th. We had an opportunity there. We scored 1. Would have liked to have scored another run to take a 4-run lead, and then we had the option of potentially taking him out. But we didn't do it. Didn't do a double play, and it's a 3-run game at that point. But we just felt like we had to go with Carson right there, and win game 1.
Coach Sharp not in the lineup tonight. Are you just trying to save his energy for his start tomorrow, or do you expect to hit him much of the season when he's not pitching?
Well, we certainly think that Sharp is a candidate, to be used, whether it's in a DH spot or at first base some. He's a good defender and he's a good hitter. Quite honestly, Chad Ferry won the job. I mean, the reason Chad Ferry, a left-handed hitter, played against the left-handed starters because he won the job. outright. The lineup that was out there tonight was the lineup that won the job at each one of those spots. Those guys earned it. You know, we don't have a lot of guys on this team, position player-wise, that have earned a bunch of stripes. So this fall, this preseason, it was all about, hey, you gotta earn the opportunity to start. And quite honestly, Chad Ferry earned the opportunity to start at first base, and that's why he was in there.
Tough game for Hall on the field, a couple of bears for him. Hadn't played a whole lot of shortstop. He's been played everywhere last year. Do you expect to move those guys around quite a bit in the infield?
I don't. No, I don't expect to move those guys around. I don't think that. I don't think you want to do a whole lot of moving with your defense in the infield. I think Sam's fine. You know, the one play was just a really tough play to his right. You know, obviously he expects to make that play. We expect him to make that play. He also, you can see with Sam Hall how athletic he is and how much range he has too. You know, sometimes guys will make some errors because they can get to so many balls. Sam's going to get to some balls that other shortstops can't get to that are going to get through for hits. So he's going to make some spectacular plays because of his range, and that doesn't bother me whatsoever. Physical mistakes are going to happen in this game. It's not a concern of mine at all. You know, we'll be fine.
How big is that for Adam? What they're getting, clutch hits?
Well, Adam's hitting in the 4-hole for a reason, and it's huge for Adam. You know, especially a guy that, you know, we've been very lucky with the catchers that we've had here. And you talk about guys like Okie and Chris Williams and Kyle Wilkie, and I mean just the list of quality defensive and offensive catchers that we've had here. It's been pretty dang good. And you know, Adam got to play some as a freshman, but now he's assuming that #1 role. And he's on our leadership council. This is a guy that his teammates respect immensely for his work ethic and how professional his approach is to the game, how good a student he is, how good a person he is. So I'm just really proud of him to be able to step up and put together those at-bats. But we've been watching this all year. You know, Hack has been hitting like this all year long. He's made some adjustments with his approach and with his swing. And he deserves the credit for it. He's just a more complete hitter than he was last year. He's in better shape physically, you know, overall he had a heck of a night for us there. Outside of he, you know, tried to bunt a ball in a safety squeeze situation. We got to work on that, but you know, otherwise we'll give him a pass.
Coach,